Hey, peace, fam. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. I keep an eye on my Detroit Pistons. I'm just talking to myself for the most part, but I didn't really come on and discuss the draft, the breakdown of the players and the moves that they made on draft night from what's the general manager Troy Weaver. But I like what the brother is doing. I'm optimistic because he comes from the damn Oklahoma City Thunder front office. Who, if you've looked at it, if you paid attention, the Thunder have done pretty well. Hey, what's good, Monty Brown, man? I'm talking to somebody from your area at 7 o'clock. Shaw, big shot. But you know, they're definitely turning over the roster. Bringing in new, a youth movement. So I'm pretty excited to see what happens with that. But with Troy Weaver in particular, he's coming from the Thunder organization, which they've drafted pretty well throughout the years. They've gotten a lot of time out of a lot of the cats that they brought in. Maybe they didn't become superstars, but I've seen them be somewhat successful with their talent evaluation and whatnot, their scouting and whatnot. So I'm optimistic that Troy Weaver can lead the squad in the right direction. I think the draft picks, on draft night and the trades and whatnot, I'm pretty much down with everything they did. I'm really interested to see what the kid from Villanova can do. I mean, he wasn't all world per se, but at like 6'8", I think I saw where he had like 70 blocks and knocked down 73 pointers. I think was a stat that I heard. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm kind of optimistic on him. The big man that they brought in from Washington, he seems a little undersized in my opinion. Lakers fan. Man, I'm an underdog cat, man. I don't mess with none of them big time names out there. I don't roll with none of that. I roll with all the bums in all of the leagues. I rock with all the bums. Nah, man. I'm salute to you on the on that championship, man. I wish we could get it together, but we don't. And then I wasn't too happy with him, the foreign kid. But we'll see. The main thing is that they still have Blake Griffin, and there's nothing to do with his contract. It's kind of unfortunate for him to be put around all of these young role players, these young pieces to be put around him. But hey, it's not like he's not going to get his check this year. So, I would imagine that most of the offense will continue to run through him as long as he. Some of the younger pieces get out. I mean, some of the pieces that weren't proven and weren't really paying off. It's a new day. It's a new day. So it'll be interesting to see if any of those draft picks become starters at some point. We see what the I don't even know how to pronounce my man's Siku. I can't even get to his last name, but we'll see what he does in year 2. I guess they moved on from Thon Maker. And then I saw they just signed LiAngelo Ball. I don't know who he's. I guess he has a 2-way deal. He might not even be with the Pistons. He might get sent to the Grand Rapids team. But he's got decent size. He was only a 3-star recruit coming out of or going into UCLA. Short career there. We'll see what happens with him. But and then the other new signee is Josh Jackson. I always had a feeling that he was going to end up in Detroit, and I'm somewhat optimistic about it being earlier as opposed to grabbing some of these guys when we already know what the full story of their career is. They bring him over after 2 years out in Phoenix, and then last year he got traded to the Memphis Grizzlies, and struggled to break into the starting lineup or play a lot of time. His stats dropped down to like 9 points a game, but he averaged 12, like a little over 12 in his first 2 years with the Suns, so he can score a little bit. Again, he's a guy, he's 6'8", 6'9", can probably guard 3 positions. It just comes down to the one thing that I'm worried about with Jackson is he supposedly has off the court issues, and now you're bringing him back to his hometown. So, it's up to him if he wants to make the most of being in the NBA or, letting his past demons, have him on the street. And, if he's on the street in Detroit, that's not too far from the crib. So it's unfortunate, that he has those types of issues in his life. But, I think he had a meeting with head coach Dwayne Casey. I think Casey's going to do his part. And if the kid wants to play ball and wants to act right, show up on time, and focus on, what he needs to focus on, I'm optimistic that Jackson could be a big, it could be a good get for the team. But all in all, it's still struggle city up in the Motor City. Have to see what these guys from the last 2 years can do, see how Blake holds up, and see how, things continue to shake out under Casey, who still doesn't have, he probably needs at least one more draft. The only thing is, if he does better, the chances of drafting a higher pick, those go away. I'm not saying that they're a playoff team, by no stretch of the imagination, but we just have to wait and see. But like I said, I mainly just like what Troy Weaver is attempting to do, and with him and Casey working together, it'll just be interesting to see what they can do with the roster. Of course, none of this really starts to become, nothing starts trending in the right direction until you can get the core of the team together. Russell for Wall. I've never been a fan of Wall, to be honest. And I love Russ's intensity, and Russ is gonna put some butts in some seats, play hard as hell, but it's hard to coach Russ, and it's hard. It's no one's been successful at coaching Russ out of shooting himself in the foot, and you can't have the point guard of the team shooting himself in the foot, which is gonna shoot the team in the foot. So I think it's kind of a wash. I mean, you don't really know they really don't know what they're getting in return. But Wall alongside Harden, I'm looking forward to that. But Washington is in the same boat as the Pistons, basically. They have more. They have a little bit more talent in my estimation. And then they got Bill up there, and I thought they had that foreign kid that they drafted. I think he could have something. He's like 6'10", but had guard skills. I mean, he's narrow. He's a slender dude, but I don't know. I think Washington will be all right. But like I said, Russ and Wall probably is just Houston made the move to get rid of Russell, and I think they would trade what? You might be right. You might be right at the end of the day. Wall definitely. He's in a comeback year. We're very familiar with that in the sport of boxing and whatnot. But let me get on out of here, man. I got to prepare for this interview. 7 o'clock, jump back on with Stephen Shaw, talk a little heavyweight boxing. He's going to be on Ring City Boxing USA in 2 weeks, December 17th. So I just want to check in with my man, see what he has going on. We probably talk about his thoughts on the latest and greatest with Deontay Wilder. He was just in his last 2 camps. And then just get his perspective on what's going on with the heavyweight division. It's a lot of action there. It's a lot of interest there for the first time in a long time. And I want to see where he thinks he is, with the rest of the USA heavyweights. So that's kind of what we'll be talking about with him. I know he's out in San Diego, I believe, is where he does his camps. And that's why I'm assuming he's out there right now, because he told me 4 p.m. Pacific time. So West Coast time, however you want to look at it. But let me go do that and get a couple questions together. Thanks for checking in. Pistons, all the small teams out there, everybody who doesn't have, Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Salute to all of y'all who got to get in where you fit in this year. I'm out. Peace.